How did you lose your virginity? And at what age? 19. Drunk with an exchange student from Korea. She laughed at the end and there was a weird silence, so I went back to my dorm, right downstairs. But realized I didn't have my key on me and my roommate was asleep, so I went back to her room and awkwardly asked if I could stay with her. Next day she asked me to never speak of what we did. Lol. Edit. Not cultural, just embarrassingly bad sex that she didn't want our friends to know about. I mean, I can't even imagine how awkward that would be. I didn't lose it. I know exactly where I left it. I was 15. It was after a high school football game where some kid picked a fight with me. It wasn't a complete beatdown, but I didn't win the fight. I had just started seeing a girl and I think she felt bad for me and didn't walk away when we got back to my place, and I offered to show her the black light in my bedroom. About a minute into it I heard my sister opening the front door and we had to stop. That was more than enough time though. A minute is all it takes. Male here. Woman I had been hanging out with near constantly for about 2 months produced a condom one evening and asked, "Do you wanna fuck?" I really liked her, so we did. I was 32 years old. I don't lose my virginity, I win my virginity. I currently am undefeated and have 6 of them. I was 16, dating a 25-year-old. He picked me up on my lunch break from work. Walgreens, my first job. We went back to his house, did it, then he dropped me back at work. Lunch break was 30 minutes. Had to get back on the register and act like everything was normal. Went home and cried. Never really realized how sad this sounded until typing it out, LMAO. Sure does sound like a predator, this 25-year-old. Hope you are doing good today. 21. A girl I had never met before invited herself into my bed and coaxed me into it. Which was fine. We had an almost purely sexual relationship for about a month, until I found out she was married. I think she was looking for a replacement husband. When she realized I wasn't the one, she ghosted. You fucked a GGG ghost? I'm 39, and never did. Edit. For all the people asking why, the short version is that I'm severely emotionally traumatized from decades of abuse from my family and bullying from others, have no social skills, and terrible teeth. I unfortunately only come across to people as weird, and in turn they only see me as a joke, to the point where I've been told to my face that the only reason the company I work for keeps me around is so that everyone has somebody to laugh at. I can't even make friends. I've tried meetup groups, but just end up being the butt of the joke at those groups due to how socially weak I am. I spent years and tens of thousands of dollars on therapy trying to deal with the trauma and social skills, but can't say it really helped. I'm saving to try to fix my teeth. 1 more year until you become a wizard. Edit. Serious question, at certain age, why not just hire someone for the good time? 16 to my now husband. It was good except for the condom coming off and having the get the morning after pill. At least I'll never forget. Small PP comes with loosen condom. 21 to a crack addict in Brooklyn, 1988. Brooklyn is indeed a special place. 31 to my best friend. Flew out to his state specifically so he could take my virginity. He made it a lovely experience for me, and I can't think of a better way for it to have happened, tbh. Might have liked it sooner, but hey. W best friend. 19 to my dream girl. Best way it could have gone. At 24, awkwardly to my what I considered my best friend at the time. She was my assistant manager, and we talked all the time in and out of work, but she had a serious drinking problem. She was so drunk she failed to come to work and was fired. I went over to cheer her up and one thing led to another. Family Guy was playing in the background and I did not last that long. Lol. Family Guy. The first think she might have just watched Quagmire. Did you say giggity giggity when you were done though? 23, to a girl I had been seeing for a few weeks at the time. Pretty much same for me. 23 and with a guy the first was seeing for a while. Now Kith. I was 17, with a girl I was dating for almost 6 months. Tried to make it classy, got a hotel room and everything. Greater than tried to make it classy, got a hotel room and everything. Well played. Lol. I once went 28 years without having sex. And then again for 7 more. I promised I wouldn't risk having a kid until I had a job that paid enough for me to support one. I turned 18 and immediately got into construction. Where I'm at, you can support yourself off about 15 an hour if you aren't living in the big cities, or if you are fine with crackhead neighbors. That's off 40 hours. I was making 14 an hour and working 50 plus hours a week, so I called my friend, he called a girl, we had sex in the cab of his truck while he sat on the tailgate and had beer. He did not finish the first one before we were done. He shook his head and told us he was drinking at least 3, so we might as well keep trying. That man is gonna be the best man at my wedding next month. I was 20, lost it to my first wife. Damn sure wish I could unring that bell. I am 22 and still haven't lost it. With a good friend of mine at 14, I think. We both had fucked up childhoods and fucked up home lives, so we just explored awkward sexual stuff with each other. Friends with benefits, I guess? She was a great person. She passed away of a drug overdose 5 years later. I think about her often. Sorry for your loss, and you please take care. Let me know if I can help somehow. 15. Just a few weeks before my 16th. I wanted to lose my virginity and asked a senior on my water polo team if he would be up for the task. Invited him over one night, and had quite an incredible experience. He was gentle and consistently checking in throughout the experience to ensure I was still okay with how everything was progressing. With sex, at 37. 18. I went to prom with a friend. I knew she wanted to date me, but I wasn't interested. I was so focused on athletics senior year and my full-ride athletic scholarship, I didn't want a girlfriend. After prom, we went to a resort town where my friend's parents had rented 8 couples from Prom of Verbo. There was a hot tub on the back deck and we were all there hanging out doing some drinking. Couple by couple left to go to the bedrooms, and it ended up being just me and her left in the hot tub. Out of the blue she stood up, took off her bikini, and sat down in my lap. She pulled my trunks off and rode me in the hot tub. We didn't even kiss. I just remember her tits in my face and she trying to guide me to suck on them, but I didn't want to. I feel weird now about it cause I didn't want to have sex with her at all. That is really close to being raped. Not even really close. That underscore was underscore rape. I talk about PS1 horror games all day on Twitter, of course I didn't lose it. 15 years old to the 18-year-old DJ I was dating, in the back of his red Jeep. I had zero idea of the mechanics of sex, and it happened so fast that I didn't even realize that what we did was sex until, afterwards, when he asked if I was on birth control. Fast forward a decade and I see his mugshot on the news. He was arrested for arson in 2020. I was 22, I found that one special lady. I had just turned 17, lost it to a person that became my girlfriend through the internet, more exactly through Habbo Hotel haha. This was in 2006, when meeting people through the internet was still considered shameful and weird. We had been seeing each other for a month maybe? We were at my place in my bed. Couldn't get it up the first time, or all night because I was so nervous. Then morning came and everything functioned and she rode me for the glorious maybe 2-3 minutes. We were both 17, at a friend's party, and it just happened after we snuck into a bedroom. We were each other's first, still together 15 years later and expecting our third baby. High school sweethearts. I'm noticing a lot of 20-plus adults who are still virgins here. Great lesson for any teenagers in here who feel peer pressure from their peers to have sex while still in high school. Everyone is not doing it. True, but this is Reddit after all. Today. 19 female. Congrats, hope you had fun. 27. After years of expecting life to just hand me a romantic interest, I got sick of the self-pity and feeling like I wasn't normal, and decided to fake it till I made it, having not even had a girlfriend before. Part of that was abandoning the idea of having firsts with anyone, and it being special. At that age I thought women would find it weird, or wouldn't want to deal with an inexperienced guy. So I never mentioned it. I just wanted to feel like a normal, late 20s, doing normal late 20s things. Eventually I hit it off with a woman, and ended up having sex with her. It was like a weight had been lifted on my shoulders and I could get on with my life. Other than the mild deception, I don't regret it. I just wanted to feel like an adult, and I succeeded in doing that. Lost mine to my boyfriend of 2 months at 16, 4 years later we're still together. Good, you can be called the high school sweethearts then. Age 21, drunk and taken advantage of by a girl I had zero interest in. No, at the time I was unaware that by today's standards it would be considered rape. 20 on my wedding night with my wife. My man is halal. I was a 16-year-old closeted lesbian dating this guy the first had been friends with for a while. We ended up in an empty movie theater watching Crimes of Grindelwald behind the back row of seats. I wasn't even sure it went in, I barely felt anything. Rip to that guy. I was 15 with my friend, who was also 15. It was sweet and thumbly. I have a good one lol. I was 15 in late summer just before 9th grade. My sister had this best friend, neighbor who was a bit wild and very very beautiful. She had gorgeous red hair. She was about a year younger than me. I had a feeling she liked me cause of the way she would act around me, but it was probably just a little crush. I thought nothing of it really. Then one night I hear a tapping on my window. My bedroom is actually a converted office near the den on the opposite side of the house from where the rest of family sleeps. So I open the blinds and there she is, this beautiful redhead angel, asking me to open the window and let her in. Couldn't fucking believe it. I let her in. She literally tells me she wants to do stuff and we fool around, but she is on her period. So she decides to give me a BJ. Mind you, she had never done one before and I had never received on before, so she was super enthusiastic about it, but between me being nervous and her inexperience I didn't finish. But she tried for like an eternity and I was like, wow, this girl is really into this, haha. Few nights later, she comes back. Same thing, I let her in the window and we fool around. This time we have sex for the first time and I remember literally having an awkward time trying to get it in. Lol, not sure if it was good, probably not, but we continued to hook up in this way for a few months. To finish the story, one night round 1 a.m. the girl's parents realize she is missing. They figure she snuck out and start going to neighbors' houses to check if she was there. We hear her parents' voice at our neighbor's house and we are like, oh fuck. So we put our clothes on and run out to the living room where lucky AF my best friend was passed out and spending the night. I woke him up and was like, dude, you got to save me. They are going to come here and see us together. Her parents didn't like me for some reason, lol. So my bro gets up, throws his pants on, literally grabs the girl and takes her to the backyard and sits down with her on the outdoor furniture as if they have been talking for all hours of the night. They stay there until her parents comes and knocks on my door and I let them in and I'm like, oh yeah, they are out back talking. They walk to our backyard, see the girl and my best friend talking, and they are pissed, but not as pissed as they would have been had they caught her with me, because they didn't like me. My best friend was very likable, everybody liked him, lol. So yeah, he literally turned the charm on LVL 1000 and lied to everybody like, yeah, she came over here to talk to me, I have a crush on her and we were just hanging out. Saved me 100% because my dad would have fucking killed me if you knew I was fucking a girl in my bedroom at 15. Neighbor girl only got in a little bit of trouble and that was that, lol. My guy wrote a whole fan fic. Yeah, let's be honest, this kind of thread always attracts people who want to fantasize about underage sex. 21 asleep, M. That's terrible. Your feelings are valid and no one deserves that to happen to them. That doesn't count as losing your virginity. You didn't have sex and you didn't consent. If someone got beat up while asleep, you wouldn't say they were in a fight, would you? God damn it, where did I put that virginity? 26, to my wife, on our wedding night. We slowly undressed each other. She smiled and started gently handling it. Then she said she wanted us to take a bath and we washed each other. Then we made love 3 times before falling asleep. I don't know how, but I lasted a good 15 minutes that first time. I awoke a couple hours later as she was mounting me and she rode me till I was spent. We fell asleep again and made love again in the morning. 19 years of practice and it's only gotten better. A lot better. There's something special about fondly remembering my first time 19 years ago, then looking to my right and there she is in bed next to me.